appreciate everyone taking the time to pop in. We just wanted to touch base with the community. We thought it was a good time to get some feedback from you guys, talk about some things we have going on. Obviously, we've had a lot of announcements over the past couple of weeks, and that was good just to kind of touch base, firm things up with you guys if you had any questions or feedback, and open it up to you if you had any other questions outside of the topics we covered today that we could help you feel more comfortable about. That being said, just wanted to thank the staff for all their hard work over the past couple months, getting stuff out. A lot of deliverables have been met along the way, and so just want to acknowledge the staff and all their hard work, and obviously the community for all their support, and thank you guys for sticking with us as we move into the 2023 mint season for MVHQ here. So all that being said, just wanted to pass it off here to Mr. Jake, our fearless leader here, and he can kind of touch on some of the 2023 token stuff, and we'll open it up after each little segment for some questions. Also, don't be shy about throwing any guest questions or some chat in office hours chat or guest questions. We'll be sure to take a look at those channels, and we'll get all your questions and feedback sorted from there. All right. So Jake, did you want to go ahead and touch on some of the token stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. Great intro, Poop. Appreciate it. As Poop said, we got a lot going on. We've delivered a lot recently, and we also have a ton in the pipeline as well. That's really, really exciting. Our staff has been really killing it on all cylinders. You guys don't see a lot of work that they're doing because a lot's kind of in the background, but then it all comes full circle when we're able to deliver certain things, new product features and stuff as well, and we'll also touch on that later in the office hours here as well. I just want to give a quick overview of what's going on with the mint right now, just so we're all on the same page, and answer any questions or feedback from you guys regarding that. So just to start it off, our whale mint just started. Kicked off yesterday. We have 38, I think it is, last time I checked, 38 whales that have converted their tokens already. That's exciting. There's a new soulbound token collection called MVHQ Alumni on OpenSea right now. It'll be the soulbound token. It's a gold spinning token, similar to our current token. And then, so what will happen is our whale mint will be open for about a week. It's going to end on November 1st. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. And after that, there's no other opportunity to burn your tokens to get a lifetime token. That'll cap the lifetime token supply. We'll airdrop those lifetime tokens shortly after that mint window closes. So really excited about that. We're really excited to see all these whales, having their permanent, lifetime status actualized in NFT itself, and it's a pretty sweet NFT too. We're gonna save the art for guys, but it'll be a little different than art we've had in the past. But I think whales are gonna like it, I would say. Yeah, so I just want to open it up. Actually, looking forward a little bit before I open up to questions. In terms of like the member mint, that's going to start around mid to late November. We'll release a actual day on that in the coming weeks in terms of when that's going to open, but that'll be open for plenty of time. It'll be open for at least a few weeks for our members to be able to choose to purchase the 2023 token for 0.4 ETH, as long as they hold the current token. So they basically burn the current token, pay 0.4 ETH, and they'll receive a soulbound token, similar to how the whales have received their soulbound token. Then on January 2nd, we are going to airdrop all the members that burned for the token, the 2023 token as well. And that's also the same day we will start our public allow list mint, start getting some new blood in here. So I know it's a lot. I know it's kind of a complicated process. We don't we don't know. We don't always want to make things complicated, but it's we had goals in mind for the mint, and we'd rather make things a little bit more complicated, be able to achieve those goals than to simplify it, and then make some members upset by our decision making. So we went with a more complicated route this time. It shouldn't be so complicated because we don't have the whale aspect to the mint to deal with for future. Yeah, so that's kind of a rundown. I'm going to open it up for any questions here or feedback regarding mint and going forward. Feel free to type or voice as well.
I guess for the non-whales, what's the timeline on the tokens that are not going to be burned for whale token?
In terms of the mint process?
Yeah, for getting the discount on current holders and being able to mint the new 2023 token.
Yeah. I ran through it a little bit just now, but it's mid-November, mid to late November is when that's going to start. We're going to give a exact date here, about a week or two, to announce so you guys are ready for that. And that mint window will be open for a few weeks, so you'll have plenty of time switch over and make that mint as well.
Thank you for
that
that,
answer it, Johnny?
Yeah, no, sorry, I missed it. Somehow I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Appreciate that rundown, Jake. Anyone else have any questions or feedback here? It looks like Fryer in chat is asking, why is the new whale token low FPS? Little bit of a teaser there, but it's just a placeholder for right now, so don't you fret.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So the current token that you see, the MVHQ alumni soulbound token, is that is the soulbound token. So that's not actually the whale token. And the reason it might look low FPS is because we used a GIF that's supposed to be better for OpenSea viewing, but we also have the high res one that Kfish, who did our contract, I think is uploading today. So that should fix any issues with that. But we have a couple different options, but the actual whale token will be revealed once it's airdropped.
Can I ask a question on microphone?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
I just for the hell of it, I clicked on sell on OpenSea. What would happen if you tried to list this? Would it just fail?
Go ahead and try.
No, I don't have the gas.
But yeah, it'll fail.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll let you list at all, or if you can list and you just can't buy. I'm not sure how that works.
No, it won't let you list. We've tested it, and that's what Kfish has spec'd it for. But if you do, find a bug, we'd love to see that. But I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's possible.
You can find the courage to test listing it. Kfish made me test sending it to the burn address, so I think you got this.
Also, I just want to revert back one second to Fryer again, just so everyone's clear. The current token that you see that we showed previews for, that's the soulbound token, not the whale token. But we haven't revealed the whale token art yet. That'll come, once we airdrop.
Thank you for that. Thank you for clearing that up, everyone. Lord Mar, I don't know if we want to touch on this right here in this conversation. I think we can, but Lord Marlborough is asking, can we talk about the treasury allocation, how it will be used after the token mint? He's in particular looking to learn more about if there are plans on using those funds for partnerships, bots, tools, etc. Kind of a little overview of what we plan to do with those funds.
Yeah, no problem. In my original token price announcement, I gave a little bit of breakdown, but I can go more in depth as well. So in the announcement, we have 5% of the fund of the mint is going to go to our community fund. Fund that and use it for different initiatives. 37.5% of the mint is going to our staff as compensation. Our staff are currently not or have not been, really fairly compensated for all the work that they put in. I don't know. I'm sure people think secondary royalties are like a decent chunk, but really they're not much at all for us, especially with how many staff we have, and our tokens really not traded that much. We're not like a 10K collection that's getting changed hands a bunch. A lot of people kind of just hold their tokens, and there's only really 1 or 2 sales a day. I kind of picked up a little bit recently, but there's not much volume in that. So that 37.5% of the mint is going to compensate our staff, and that's going amongst 33 different staff and contributors as well. A lot of people that help out MVHQ, not only just that you see up front, but also in the background as well, from odds to marketing, our partnership team, our dev team, content team. We have a expansive team of VAs as well for our whales, and also for our concierge service as well, and our marketing team as well. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that deserve to be fairly compensated from that. And also, the remaining amount, 57.5% of the mint, is going to be going to the treasury. This is exclusively used for business expenses, throughout the year. So legal expenses, accounting, different software subscriptions that we have across the board, hardware, travel compensation as well. We do a lot of stuff in person as well that you guys might not see in terms of like locking down partnerships, and also events as well for all you guys. So there's various things. Lord Marlborough touched on specific ones. What was it again? It was partnerships, bots, and tools. Yeah, so we have a dev team, we have a product team that works specifically on these bots and tools for you guys. Some examples are the drop bots, the recent giveaway bot that we implemented for allow lists, and that's constantly being improved as well. I think Kenny just rolled out some improvements to that last night, and we haven't released a full update on that yet. And then also, what is the main one? I'm definitely forgetting another one.
Blessbot.
Blessbot, yeah, Blessbot. So, and there's also other bots in the works right now that we are working on. Profit bot, I can say, is something that we definitely have in mind. You guys have been requesting a lot of, and we're going to look to implement that as well, and a couple other things on. So, in terms of the funds, paying our devs is part of going towards these bots tools, because they are the ones that are working on it. So those funds are going towards that, and then partnerships as well. We have a partnerships team, both staff and contributors. We have, I'm not sure the exact amount of people on the team, maybe 5 or 6. Mitch or Johnny could speak to that as well.
Yeah, guys. So we have a great collaborations team and partnerships team that are constantly hunting for whitelists as well as strategic partnerships. Some of those that you've seen come through that have been benefits to MVHQ are projects like Blur, getting us early beta access, being able to strategically partner with them so that you can all benefit from using that platform, getting those packages dropped to you. And those are the ones that you don't know. I don't know if you all know or not. The ones that were airdropped recently were not ones specifically for MVHQ beta testers. So that is actually coming. So there'll be a second drop just for the beta tester program, which will go to all of you that signed up and used Blur during the beta. Lo-Fi EQ, I think you guys were all using that. Unfortunately, their token hasn't done well to date, but that was part of our strategic relationships. And then all the collaborations that we get, all the whitelists Those take a lot of work in the background. Constantly, we're getting on calls and vetting projects, so we're not bringing you guys. We try to do our best to not bring rugs or projects that are of low quality. So there's a lot of phone time vetting those out, as well as our hunting collaborations team. Those are people just constantly scouring Twitter, social media, talking to other alpha groups about upcoming mints and what we think would be good collabs and whitelist to get y'all. So we spend a lot of time doing that in the background.
Awesome. Thanks for that breakdown, Johnny. Yeah. There's a lot of people, behind the scenes that are really working hard for you guys. A lot of members who just really love MVHQ and want to contribute and help you all out. This is a real community effort. It's pretty awesome to see. Like pretty much every person on staff was a member in the community first, which is really cool. That's basically all source. Like all these people love the community and really want to do what they can to provide value for you guys.
Thank you very much for that breakdown, Johnny and Jake, for running through that. It looks like one last question regarding this from Seth here. Jake, so the last day to burn a normal MVHQ token to get the 0.4 mint discount would be, that's right through the end of the year, right?
Yeah, it's not quite. It'll be a little bit before the end of the year, just because we have to take a little time to evaluate how many spots we have for the allow list, and then choose those public allow list winners. So we need to leave a little buffer. Then that's also obviously holidays, so people are pretty busy during that time with family stuff. So we'll probably end it, mid-December is when it'll be. We'll give an exact day, about a week or two here before we actually start up the mint window. But I would expect it to be around mid-December for that to end.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I got another question just popped in my head. What happens to the people that don't renew their tokens? Are those just going to go to applicants that are applying? And can you speak to how many applicants we're getting for the folks that aren't current members that we anticipate will be purchasing the 0.8 price once they're approved?
Yeah, I could speak a little bit more on that, Johnny. I think, as far as sourcing some of the best talent, we've taken a more extended approach with the application process. I can talk you guys through that. The idea is that we reduce our supply size while sort of bringing in a new sort of like life force into Metaverse HQ, right? The upcoming classes, we'd like to call it, because these are individuals that have known about us, watched us from the sidelines. Maybe they're already following us. Maybe they love our content. Maybe, again, a lot of the whale wallets in here, they're following and tracking. They see us on other tools like DGen Mint, and have just not found the right entry point. I think when it comes to identifying candidates, we have almost 600, and we've honestly lightly marketed it. Plus, we're not like the average Google form by any means. Our application process is pretty rigorous. We even offer a one-on-one where applicants can speak directly with staff, right? So we've already done over a handful of one-on-ones already, and we've just started doing them for only a week. And we're fielding a lot of applicants this way because so much can be said when we receive an application on paper, right? Like it doesn't really, an application doesn't really exemplify the upside in an individual that might want to join Metaverse HQ. You can also, as we know, pay VAs to make up some beautiful copy, right? So the idea here was we weed people out, we get a sussing of what people's real intentions are, and the applicants that we've gotten so far have been really, really quality. We run through them every Sunday. So every Sunday is just like a nice time where staff gets together, looks through applicants, susses the Twitter. We're even getting LinkedIn's, right? So again, this is like a really rigorous process, and we can't even accept anyone until, like Jake mentioned, we have a finite number of how many tokens have been burned from both whale as well as the member mint. So that process is going to be ongoing, and as we continue these town halls, like I imagine, like maybe the next town hall or maybe the one after that, we'll have more concrete numbers. And I think, just to even highlight the talent pool further, there are individuals that were at Metaverse HQ, right? They sold their token once upon a time. They've been feeling FOMO, missing out. They want back in our community. These are individuals that, are MVHQ OGs at heart. We have, we're very appreciative of anyone that's ever come into Metaverse HQ that actually purchased a token and was a member. Even if you were a member for a day, that's still really meaningful. You get what we're trying to go for. And I think that's a really good entry point back in. But at the very rate, that's sort of how the process has been. And we're going to illuminate more of what the talent pool is looking like through our socials. A lot of these individuals that we are speaking with are incredibly qualified, where we want to actually exemplify the staff's feedback in what we're calling like a cohort group. So every week we're imagining we're going to publish 5 individuals that we've spoken with, that we have real conviction on, and these individuals will be the only like quote unquote accepted ones for now. And if we do 5 a week leading up to our mint, we can roughly accept around, I don't know, like 50 to 60 individuals this way. But again, with all the prime applicants that we have, because our application process is already quite rigorous and one step further, I imagine we're not trying to over allocate, obviously, and we'll just have a better number coming into the post member mint. I hope that answers it, Johnny.
If I could add one thing though, just to clarify what Mitch said about old members getting back in. We've had a lot of people ask us, what if I sell my token now? Am I a guaranteed lock to get back in through application process? No, we have a lot of applicants, and it does not mean just because you're going to sell your token now and you've been in MVHQ all this time that you're a guaranteed lock. We like you, we want you back, but man, there's just so many people applying, and we can't really we can't loophole it like that and have 100 members selling and all want back in at the 0.8 mint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point too, Daddy Chinzo. Thank you. Yeah, the talent pool is insanely cracked. We're having people from other premier communities, some top tier alpha groups, and they all want a piece of the action. They're all incredibly hungry, and and want to participate in voice chat, want to be an active, engaging participant in our community, and it's really amazing. I imagine they'll have more priority over some of the other applications that we're fielding. But yeah, good point, Daddy Chinzo.
I think one last point too that a lot of people might miss or just kind of overlook with the member versus allow list mint is that if you're not worried about the discount or the guaranteed mint and not having to fill out an application, hope you get selected. The Soulbound token is something that, we're trying to really be innovative and unique and do some cool stuff with. So this is kind of just the start, of the MVHQ alumni, whatever that might mean in the future. But that is something that, members who mint will receive. And that's only going to be for people in that group of members or whales.
Well, there you go. There's your alpha leak.
Awesome. Thank you guys for breaking that down. Also, I think Johnny had one other part of his question in regards to what happens to the token after member mint window. So the current token that we have, the 2021 to 2022 Metaverse HQ key, that token will continue to give access to the Discord until the end of 2022. And then afterward, there's going to be zero utility. A token we will not provide anything. The token following. What we're going to do is we're going to burn that token across the board, and we're doing this for specific reasons. One is we don't want people to trade or sell that token and expect some type of value out of it, because again, we won't be putting any value into those tokens after 2022. There's going to be no utility. People might want it for memento, but that's the point of the soulbound token, is to fill that gap. And then also a big thing is that we are doing the 2023 token on the same contract as the current token. So what that means is it'll retain, our collection will retain, the verified check mark. It'll retain all the same volume as well, and it'll retain the same contract address for continuity there. But with doing that, if we were to leave the current token how it is with zero utility, then it would be on the floor, and it would basically show our collection floor is zero. That's obviously not a good look. There would just be a bunch of tokens on the floor, and people would get lost and be like, why is this collection for nothing? So we are going to be burning all those just to kind of get rid of those couple issues that would come with keeping the token. So again, 2021 to 2022 token is going to give access to the Discord. Even if you choose not to mint in the member window, it'll continue to give you access until the end of 2022. And then after that, we will be burning all those tokens.
Awesome. Appreciate everyone for all that feedback. Great questions. We do have a slew of topics we wanted to cover, but there are some questions here in chat that probably worth touching on. Jake, Lord Marlborough followed up with his original question. I think you touched on the first part here. Do we have future plans to improve the server Discord group? What can we share? I think you touched on that a little bit. Is there anything more expansive you want to lend some insight on? I think that'll be one of the next topics we kind of carry into as well, though.
Yeah. How about we save that? Because we are going to touch on some future improvements here a little bit later in the office hours. So we'll save that to then.
For sure. And then the second part to his question is, are we going to use treasury funds or community funds for any type of server improvements, product improvements? His example is, say the team wants to create a minting bot for MVHQ. Would it use treasury funds or community funds?
So it's going to vary depending on what it is. So creating our in-house stuff, that's gonna come from the treasury. Like if we were gonna say buy a bot or a temporary matter, then we would propose it to the community for that if that's something that they wanted.
And I think
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I do think that is very important to clear up. Like anytime we even think about usage of community funds from that community fund chest, it is proposed to the community. We don't go rogue there. Every allocated 0.1 ETH that comes out of there has been voted on in the past or will be voted on in the future. So the entire community should have visibility into how those community funds are used.
Yep, it's all on chain.
Awesome. Let's see here.
That's a great segue, by the way. Speaking a little bit on the community fund and the latest proposal.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to finish up with a couple questions here, I guess, that just before we get too far off topic, and then we'll segue. We'll finish up with these last two questions. Mr. Bull's asking, so quick question, if this has been answered, will the public mint be only open to those applicants, or will it be full public? Mitch, did you want to touch on that? Like if we don't fill for whatever reason with the amount of applicants we have, is there a plan to go straight open public after that? What's the plan and strategy behind that?
Yeah, again, I think we'll have a clearer vision and sort of like more concrete answer for you when the mint window is coming up. I think for us, our goal for this mint especially, and onward, is to make sure that we are getting the best new and recurring talent in the Metaverse HQ to continue to incubate the best talent in the space. No one has a talent pool like us. And it's just, yes, it's by natural force of being first, also because we are the best, right? We are the best to bring in terms of like an educational platform and all that stuff. So we want to make the entry reasonable to that degree. And I think when you have a public sale, right, a first come, first serve, there are advantages to that, right? Maybe potentially people that wanted to get in that didn't get didn't get the confirmed application or get accepted. That's their entree point. We can also make the case that, hey, after this tier of applicants, maybe the next tier of applicants can now mint, right? So we could do it in tiers because we are actually giving applicants a rating. And let's just say, out of 10, the first window is like 7 or higher. The next window can be like for 6s, right? So I imagine the tokens that, let's just say we have tokens that we don't mint, we can decide to mint them for the treasury, mint them for marketing, and what have you. But that will be a dynamic, evolving situation.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mitch, for clarifying some of that. TGP, I see your question there. I think that's probably a question maybe best suited for something towards the end here. Once we kind of go through all the topics and we can circle back on that one, I'll make sure to get back to it here.
Real quick, Mr. Bull had a second part of his question that didn't get answered.
Sure, go ahead.
It said, can MVHQ members do referrals to valuable members? Might want to mint on public. Answer is yes. We have a section on the application for referrals, member referrals. So if someone says they are referred by you, they could put that in the application.
Perfect.
We'll obviously be double checking if that is indeed a legit referral or not.
Definitely, yeah. I think to Mitch's point as well, like it's been a pretty thorough process. A lot of staff and Mitch and Jacob and the crew have been spending a lot of time just combing through applications and making sure they are getting their due diligence. So it has been a very fine process that we feel very confident in. So it's not like we're just giving it a once over. It's been pretty thorough to this point. So, okay. Well, appreciate all the questions there. We'll circle back on anything we missed here, but just for the sake of time, we'll keep on moving on to other topics that we had on the docket here. Like Mitch kind of alluded to, we've had a couple product rollouts. We've had a couple recent community fund proposals. One that is still outstanding regarding our MVP process and the funds that we want to allocate towards rewarding MVPs and people that pop up on the Blessed Spot. Mitch, did you want to touch on some of the new product integrations and the proposals that we have had in the past couple of weeks and the one that's currently outstanding?
Yeah, absolutely, Poop. Thank you. I think for us, we've taken a more structured look at, what do we want to get out of our product development? What do we want to get out of the features that we're making? And it came down to, hey, how do we incentivize meaningful engagement in Metaverse HQ? How do we reward individuals or allow each other to highlight people that are contributing, right? It doesn't need to be an alpha call of, sweep this at 0.02 and sell at 0.1, right? That's sort of always inherently been what everyone looks for, especially in alpha communities and, especially in the NFT like trading realm of things, right? There are other ways in which people can help, like just being a great vibe, for instance, on a Friday night, kicking it in voice chat, or being really helpful with pointing a member out somewhere, whether it be old or new or, just sort of floating in. I think when it comes to the features that we're thinking about, we want to, on top of meaningful engagement, obviously alpha is the number one component that really is like our bread and butter. And as far as building features on top of that, I think the Blessed Bot was a really good example of how we might incentivize engagement, how we can allow community members to give each other recognition. And the MVP process, the new MVP program, taking it a step further and really allowing the community to be, I guess, more incentivized to engage, because the MVP is now chosen through the first top 5 of the leaderboard at the end of the month, and those are the 5 individuals that we will all be voting on for MVP. And so before I peel back into the proposal, I just also want to highlight, Kenny, Snipes, Relic from product, really just everyone across the board. We have a product meeting every week where we're just talking about like really awesome ideas. We're talking about potential tech integrations and partnerships. We've sussed out the alpha bots, the 3GMs of the world. And Kenny does a really great job sussing out the security liabilities. I'm going to have him speak on it more. Relic does a really great job understanding how we might flesh out these integrations and make them incredibly useful for you guys, right? I think when it comes to like the giveaway bot, for instance, some of these features are need more hand-holding from different individuals on staff as well, like advising. For instance, Jacob was a great individual to go to for the giveaway bot because he has a lot of exposure into that process and how to better refine it and make that experience better for us as well, not just for staff. So when it comes to looking at product, that's what we're thinking about, and we're really going full steam ahead. We want to dedicate a lot of bandwidth to making this community a lot more fun and engaging, especially on Discord, because we're always here. Some ideas that I think would be considered alpha. I'd just love to share with you guys now. We are fleshing out a really long-term partnership to essentially beat out 3GM and be a lot more competitive than what 3GM offers. For those of you that don't know, you guys might have been seeing the P&L, profit and losses graphics from other groups. This is essentially just 3GM sort of charging an arm and a leg to provide that white label service with a P&L. We found a great strategic partner in a partner that we've actually helped accelerate and launch their mint this time last year. And then, so wink, wink, if you're an OG, you know. And this is going to be great functionality. Essentially, you'll be able to record your own wallets in here, track your own P&L across all of your wallets. You can track other people's wallets too. We'll get there'll be a lot more like fleshed out functionality, but that's sort of the idea there. I think another idea that we're having that's really interesting, we're talking to partners now, is on the right-hand side on Discord. If you're on your desktop, you might see, on the right-hand side, you might see this list of individuals. You might see the gas, right, on the top right. This is really unique and interesting real estate for us when it comes to what we might intend to do there, right? I think just take a look at, could be like top 3 projects on secondary in the last 10 minutes, could be top 3 projects minting right here. Maybe if you click on it, it links you to DGen Mint. Maybe it clicks you, to Blur, gets you in on the action quicker. The idea is that we're able to service the similar experience or value that you might find on other platforms. We want to aggregate all that for you. And again, this is just me sharing this so you guys understand the vision of wanting to make this place a lot more fun and, not to mention competitive. So, now to our proposal on the form of competition, we wanted to find a way to, again, not just set a framework for meaningful engagement and community recognition, but reward that too. And the community fund is it's built up, it's ready to fire, and especially since people are, we've taken a listen to the community, and we could fuel a lot of this sort of like contribution back to the community in the form of alpha, in the form of helping one another, of being meaningful to one another with this proposal, right? So the proposal essentially rewards everyone in the top 5, right? Because it's such a, I want to say, this process is more built on meritocracy. We felt really comfortable in making this proposal now. And this was always the intention when we had first envisioned this sort of framework, the Blessed Bot framework 2 months ago, where we can then move into a more competitive position here. So top 5, for those of you that don't know, the proposal's still up. I believe it might have ended today. Was it 10 a.m., 10 p.m.?
Two more hours. Open for just over 2 more hours.
All right, open for 2 more hours.
Yep.
All right, cool beans. So essentially the proposal, the way it works is top 5 every month will receive a flat reward of 0.25 ETH. The top 1 will actually receive 0.5. And ETH is Pampin. So I guess, do your US denomination there, make your calculations, crunch the numbers. And whoever wins of that top 5 will also win a 2 ETH prize on top of being, on top of all the really awesome perks that come with MVP, being on the front page of the magazine, which I'm jealous of. I don't think will ever happen. Having the role and, having a key for next year. I think these are all really great ways to, again, recognize not just the MVP and bring more weight to the MVP through this more democratized system, but also, bring value to the people that, aside from the MVP, that are also candidates that have historically, just have not been rewarded in that way. And yeah, that's about it. That's the proposal. Ends in 2 hours. Please give it a vote. Yes, no. If anyone has any feedback, questions, love to field them now. I think this is a great, just like, let's take a breather. Anyone have any questions?
One more thing before we do that, I just wanted to touch on, really the goal of the proposal and what our thought process is in rolling something like this out in terms of increasing the incentive so much. Really what we want to do is we want to dramatically, we want to make the MVP. It already is something that people strive for, but have it to be like really coveted thing that all members really want to achieve. The best way to do this is to provide some type of financial incentive in order to achieve that. And really what this helps with is not just I think Much touched on this too, but it's not just the MVP themselves. It's really the whole community that it benefits, because what happens is you have more and more people really gunning for the MVP. And the way that they do that is by helping others, helping everyone else in the community, sharing alpha with one another, in order to, if they really want to get blessed, they have to do something that's blessed worthy, right? So, and that can come in many different ways. That can come in just, listening to someone. That can come to celebrating someone else's success. It can come to being active, answering questions. It can come from, sharing some awesome alpha as well. So there's many different ways that people can get blessed, but just in general, I think it'll really incentivize, meaningful engagement within the server. And that's really just a benefit to the entire member base. So that's ultimately our goal here in upping these incentives is the one, to meaningfully reward you guys for the contributions that you make, and then also to be able to give a benefit to all members.
Very well said. Thank you, gentlemen. Did anyone have any questions there? While we wait on some questions, Jake, did you maybe want to touch on, because there has been some conversation just over the past year and a half or so, like what we can actually use community fund resources for, right? There's been a little red tape there on our end, and we always try to stay above board with this type of stuff, but it's a merit-based versus kind of an RNG-based system that we have to kind of abide to. Did you maybe want to loosely touch on that, just to inform everyone here and kind of our thought process behind what we can actually allocate these funds towards?
Yeah, that's a good point to bring. Yeah, so we are kind of limited just because of the fact that we are a U.S. company. We have to abide by U.S. laws. So there are, things called the sweepstakes laws, which mean that we can't use these funds as any type of giveaway. So in our case, this MVP thing, it's not a giveaway. It's voted on based on merit. It's the highest merit you can receive in our Discord. So in that sense, that's why we can use it in what it might look like a giveaway right away. But it's really just us giving the money to whoever deserves it based on the merit, based on what they contributed to our community. So we have had proposals in the past in terms of providing such and such money to give away for different things. Unfortunately, we can't do these kind of things because the laws around them. But things we can use the giveaway fund for are paying for services, paying for events. So if we wanted any events, whether within the server or in the real world as well, we could do that, or any type of services. If we did want to do anything that would help out the community, it could be something like land in a metaverse, kind of how we purchased those sandbox lands. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but the idea behind that still stands. We can still do that in the future. So things that benefit all the community is something we can do in the future. Products and services area, we just can't use it for any type of giveaway.
Awesome. Appreciate you clarifying any of that. We will take a second here, open it back up for questions. If anyone has any thoughts or feedback or anything they want answered, go ahead and unmute or type it in one of the channels.
There was a good question from TGP in the guys questions about our long-term vision. I don't think that's somebody could touch on that. It'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go through kind of our topic list here, and then I have that one penciled in to circle back on for sure towards the end here, just so we can kind of get all the talking points, and then I think that type of vision hopefully will become a little bit clearer, and we can fill in any gaps anyone may have a question on. But absolutely, yeah, it's a great question, and we'll definitely circle back on it. All right. I think that was very clear, it seems like. We can move on to a couple of the other talking points. We do have Mr. Kenny here, our esteemed tech lead. Him and his crew work so hard behind the scenes to not only push out product, but so receptive to feedback, both from the staff and the community, always working towards the common goal of making sure we get product out that the community wants, that the community can get value from, and they are always keeping the community forefront of their mind throughout all of their product developments and tech developments as well. So I wanted to open it up to Kenny, let him touch on some of the things in the pipeline, some of the recent items that we've pushed out, and just kind of get a good sense of where we stand from a dev standpoint and get some insight there. Kenny, did you want to jump in? Is he there? Uh-oh. Maybe not. Got rugged? You might be muted, Kenny. I see your mic toggling on and off. Okay, we'll give him a second here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, buddy. What's going on?
Sorry, I was getting rugged by Discord a bit there.
Shocker.
But I appreciate everyone coming and asking questions and taking an interest. But I'd be happy to share some things in the pipeline that we're working on. Mitch touched on a few things earlier on. We're definitely trying to always streamline ways to present you guys useful information in real time to help with your trading. We're definitely looking at ways to present coin prices, trending projects. There's some ideas in the pipeline to, alert you guys for smart buys. We're culminating trends among MVHQ token holders that I would love to share with you guys in real time. These are a lot of the things that we're trying to do currently are real time based, because I'm a firm believer that, there's a short window of opportunity to capitalize in NFTs generally. I could be wrong there, but that's my current perception. Secondary to that, we are working project that would create a members only section of the website that would have share it all quite yet because some of it's still shifting, but there will definitely be a content calendar that would include, drops, reveals, office hours, events, things of all nature, just to sort of use as a companion tool along your day of trading, sort of get alerts on important events and so forth. Also, I would love the ability to follow certain sectors and events and maybe get notifications when announcements are made on particular things that you're interested in. So all these things are sort of things that I think would be really valuable. Definitely working on some other things in terms of tech partnerships that we're trying to leverage and present you guys some of these bots and integrations that would be really useful. Mitch touched on a P&L bot. That's definitely something that we're working on. Trying to just
Sorry, brother. I was leaking alpha earlier.
Good, brother. All good. I was gonna leak it anyways.
Too excited about what you're cooking up.
Yeah, definitely agree there. And I just think that the culmination of real-time data and the member-only section of the website is definitely somewhere where we're spending a lot of time and effort. There's a version 2 of the giveaway bot that's being rolled out pretty soon here. It's pretty much already started to being rolled out. We now have project-specific pings. So you'll only get pinged on a giveaway if you're actually a winner, which a lot of you are going to like not having to look through those CSVs, I'm sure. We have 4 or 5 more features to be rolled out alongside those as well. We're going to do that incrementally. Some of those things I can speak on will be, alerts when the drops come, a easier way to enter all giveaways, since I know sometimes it's a little difficult and we're releasing 10, 12 giveaways at once. We're going to definitely try to streamline that process from a user experience point of view. We are sort of limited there to what Discord will allow us to do within their current APIs, but we're going to push that to sort of the limit and sort of do everything we can to make that process as easy as possible on a day-to-day basis. But generally, that is what our immediate direction is coming towards the end of the year here. I just wanted to reiterate, we make these tools for you guys. So if there's anything that you would like to see that we're not mentioning or we're either building and you don't find useful, always feel free to share that with me here in DMs, in the tech feedback channel. We're always listening. We're always following along. Really want to build things that you guys want and will find useful, and don't really want to make assumptions on those things. So the more feedback we can get, the better. But from here, I'm going to open it up. If anyone has any questions for me, suggestions, anything along those lines, definitely happy to field those.
Thank you for that, Kenny. Thank you for all that insight and feedback. Give a little backdrop to everyone in here, kind of what goes on behind the scenes and some of the things in the pipeline. Like Kenny said, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute and fire away, or post the question in the guest questions channel, and we'll make sure to get to them. Give it a few seconds here. Awesome. Sounds like everyone thoroughly understands, Mr. Kenny. Appreciate you running through all of that. A couple other just, items that we wanted to briefly touch on. Obviously, we're always hearing feedback, getting feedback from the community, whether that be in DMs or more publicly in the general channels, and we really do take that stuff to heart and discuss them as a staff and make sure that we are leading in a way that allows the community to feel heard. And a part of that process is obviously the structure and organization of the server itself. So I just wanted to throw in a little tidbit that, and the product improvements and tech developments and things of that nature. Obviously, the MVP voting and all very important stuff. But the little things as well in terms of structure of the server and channels and condensing as much as possible is always a work in progress, but it's always something we're striving to do. So just wanted to put it on everyone's radar that absolutely we are working hard behind the scenes, Relic CK especially, and helping to design a more efficient information flow, condense some channels down, and just make sure, or at least do our part to make sure that the flow of information is as efficient as possible for everyone, less clutter, more info, and just kind of make the server a little bit more clean and less cluttered. Again, always a work in progress, but something we are striving towards, and looking forward to rolling out a little bit of a reorganization here in the coming days. So be on the lookout for that. Discord implemented something called Forums recently that we're excited to kind of give a little test drive and see how that works out in place of threads and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, any feedback there, we're always open to. We'll open up to questions regarding server reorg and any feedback you guys may have as well. And we'll take those into consideration before we go to press with anything officially. But just want to put that on everyone's radar. Any feedback or questions there for anyone? Awesome. Cruising right along here. Cool. Are there any other general questions here? I think that just wraps up the majority of the topics we wanted to touch on as a staff, at least, unless I'm missing something here. Jake, Mitch, or Jacob, or anyone else, feel free to chime in. But we can definitely open it up to more general questions, and I'll circle back on TGB's question here very shortly.
No, I just want to say I got to run to a call, but I want to say thank you guys for listening today. I definitely I'm open for feedback. I'm in, try to be in voice chat as much as I can, chatting people up and talking real time. But if you guys don't, you feel free to ask me a question there, or shoot me a DM, or ask any of the moderators, about feedback. We're constantly trying to provide the best value for our community. We're the first token gated, alpha group in the space, and we carry a lot of weight. So we can definitely take your feedback and want to incorporate that into our calls as we're talking to collabs and partners. And want to make sure that you feel open to giving feedback to any of us. I think we try to be as open as possible. But if you're not comfortable, asking in the voice chat, throw it in a DM. Yeah, thank you guys very much for listening to that.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that, man. One thing I will close with is just touching on some of the content initiatives that we have going on behind the scenes a little bit, and not necessarily behind the scenes, in front of the server as well. Obviously, we have a little bit of a public-facing angle, and do try to direct some alpha-facing content as well here into the server. A lot of that is sourced through the community. All of it's sourced through the community, and we do take a lot of pride, and a lot of time and effort goes into all the content initiatives we have going on, whether that be the magazine, Azul here with Numbers Therapy, a couple different podcasts, the Make It Rain show, which is a little more niche, but a lot of people are having fun playing that game. And I think at the end of the day, that's really where we've tried to come out of pocket for our content stuff. Of course, we want as much visibility and engagement into it or on it, whether that's in the server, out of the server. But at the end of the day, it's about being creative and having fun doing what we're doing, having just an amazing crew of not only talent, but people, contributors that are willing to put in the time and effort and put their best foot forward for MVHQ, and take a lot of pride in getting information back to the community at the end of the day. So just a big shout out to Silva Surger, Big Relic CK, DGen Z on a lot of the graphics work, Top Hat Cat and Mac Attack, who have just been crushing the production media editing and stuff like that. We are finding our footing week to week. I think we're tightening things up, but a lot of exciting things on the horizon, I think, there. And we just wanted to make sure all the contributors got their just due, and just make sure that, as a community, we're supporting them, whether it's a public facing content item or here in the server in one of the alpha channels. The field reports have been popping lately. Lots of great alpha in there. So just make sure that we are acknowledging and supporting all the wonderful contributors we have as well, because a lot of hard work does go into it, and it's not lost on any of the staff at the very least, that all the hard work that's going in there. So I just wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to all the contributors there. And content will continue to be a large part of what we do here, and we're always looking for more contributors. It's not a tunnel vision thing. We stress having fun and being creative, and let the pieces fall where they may after that. So if you do have any interest in creating content, writing, producing, being on-air talent, hosting, we're always open. So feel free to shoot any of us a DM, and we'll make sure to carry away that to talk through it a little bit, and that opens up any other smaller role that anyone may have interest here in the community. Feel free to reach out to some of the team leads, Jacob in marketing, myself in content, and if you do have an interest, at least get your name in front of us, and we can talk through it a little bit. And we're always open-minded, especially sourcing some of those roles from the community. I think that's a big benefit to how we've gone about things to this point as well. So there's also our website. Excuse me. Our website has been a nice hub of information for more official open roles and things of that nature as well. So don't be shy about checking out the website as well. Any questions there?
Yeah, very well said, Poop. Big shout out to content team. What you guys are cooking up is fucking incredible. And I also want to give a similar shout out as well. I know the content team, the marketing, sort of like the activations, right? The collaborations team, they all work hand in hand. And I think this is going to allude to at least what my answer would be for TGP. And I imagine it'd be shared amongst staff, but big shout out to everyone on the Bebop team, the collaborations front. So that's Big Floppa, that's obviously Johnny, bringing in wheeling and dealing, actually being the executive, taking the meetings alongside Jacob, who is obviously overseeing the entire marketing arm, collaborations included. Want to give a big shout out as well to Big Floppa. You got Kai, Lord Marlborough, I see you just joined as well. Silva is very much engaged. Bando, Apple Farm, Milk Tea, these are all individuals that are cooking for you guys day in, day out. Hunting. So if you have any sort of alpha with regard to what kind of projects we should be hunting, like I think Sola gave us a really awesome list of like Aptos projects to go and hunt. So now we're on it. Please find these individuals, let them know so we can get some allocations from Metaverse HQ. And also I want to give I want to allude to the fact that everyone works in tandem, some behind the scenes, contributions that might not be super public. I think EQ Poppy, great place to start. Been fielding both the socials from a media marketing standpoint, and then helping coordinate on the content front. Seinfeld as well. He's now been placed as an engagement manager. So you've seen engagements like Lo-Fi, Blur. We're going to have a lot more of these like really competitive engagements, or more strategic partnerships. I think when you ask about, TGP, the long-term vision of Metaverse HQ, right? I think what we do, I think that it will always be in reference and POV to this really incredible community that was formed over a year ago that we're all a part of, that I was also just a member as well. And, we worked together, we sort of educated ourselves. We were enthusiastic about the space. We believe in the space. We believe in this technology, and we want to be on the forefront of it. No one knows it better than we do, because we are the power users. We are the consumers. We are the investors, right? And there's really no other place like Metaverse HQ. And as we continue to evolve year over year, it's going to be really important that we continue to be this like really awesome, educational, safe, and friendly and competitive space where we can always come together. We can always activate it. We'll have an insane alumni network, all these things that Jacob alluded to. That's always going to be the proponent. The main proponent is the community. Obviously, we have other pillars as well. Now you're seeing content forming into a really like massive and sort of incredible pillar for community contributors to be recognized and bring value there. That's really great sourcing for us too. If you think about it, a lot of maybe this is some alpha, but like the Godas of the world, right? They're taking notice, right? That's good. That's incredible for branding. We're now, through our content arm, we can no longer be pigeonholed to one thing, right? And if we're doing so much at once, we start to become this all-encompassing entity in the metaverse. I think that's another great proponent of what content brings to the table. I think taking another look at the pillar of activations, right? Consider an engagement like Blur, right, where the value proposition of a partnership like Blur makes sense for our community because it's an insanely cracked tool. It's really well built. The team behind it is insane. We knew there'd be an airdrop for beta users, so that would be a cook. We knew that they would offer token allocation to the top individuals that were using it, which is why we wanted Metaverse HQ to be the first community to use it, so we'd have a competitive advantage. That was my announcement back in June 14th, right? So I think when you look at an engagement like that, you look at our community as a insane like number one value input. And then we might have partners like Blur, right? They have value. They have value input as well. Their value input is they get to liaison with the most incredibly cracked talent pool of Web3 imaginable, right? They get to dog feed their product in a really meaningful way, helping them go to market. I mean, no one else in the space has accelerated a product like that. And I think last week was a community win because we were the first on board. We knew about Blur before anyone else. And guess what? Now everyone's going, oh, this feature's cracked. This is insane. How did I not know about this? People are pissed. They're like, oh, you think like Blur came out of nowhere? This airdrop is fun. We knew about this for a long time. And guess what? We knew about it because we are Blur. We helped bring that product to market in a really like meaningful way, hard activation for 3-4 months where all value inputs align, and we're going to continue to look for more of those as well at TGP. So without giving too much away, there's a lot of other fun shit that we have planned, and I think you're starting to now get a sense for the people that are paying attention as to where the upside and the value really is, and I hope you feel that as a member.
Very well said, Mitch. Thank you for touching on all that. TGP, did that touch on some of your question here in terms of the vision, long-term goal of MVHQ? And I think where we see ourselves 1.5 to even 10 years from now. I mean, we see ourselves being right here in the thick of the metaverse, really growing with the space as we have been. I don't think we have any intentions to hit the eject button ever. To be honest, it sounds cliche, but it started as a community, and it will end as a community as well. And I don't see that going away anytime soon. If NFTs suddenly die next month, I think we've talked about it many times in VC, right? It's like, I don't think any of us see NFTs dying next month, but we've been through, some rough times as well, just as a space in general. And MVHQ is always finding pockets and ways to find value, to make some ETH, finding the next opportunity. That's kind of been the name of the game for us, right? What is the next opportunity? Whether that's the next partnership opportunity, whether that's the next mint opportunity, so on and so forth. So we don't have any intentions of going away anytime soon. What type of time frame we want to put on that? It sounds cliche, but that is never a topic of conversation for us. We're here to stay, and even more than that, we're here to grow and continue building, first and foremost. So I would say that's probably where we can land on that.
Is MVHQ prepared to usher its members out of the world of PFPs and into the world of avatars?
Yeah, only Reddit avatars, brother.
Yeah, we might not have a choice at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not really actually a good joke because those are the type of jokes that get you broke in the long run.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out and exactly what this massive onboarding Reddit is doing means for the space in general. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are alluding and comparing it to what Top Shot did, and I think there's some notable comparisons there. But we'll see exactly what sort of influx of population in the NFT space actually means here.
Rising tides.
Yes, indeed.
One more piece on the. I just want to touch on one more piece on kind of the future and how we see it in terms of MVHQ. Mitch alluded to this too, and he gave a really great explanation for a lot of things that we got planned. I just want to reiterate the fact that really everything we do is with the community in mind, and we don't just say that. I really believe that we've proven that time and again since we've started. When we first did our mint, everyone this was a private Discord, right? This was a free Discord, and it was kind of like an invite-only thing. Just we only had people in here that were helping each other along. It started in the Top Shot days, and then eventually, as Top Shot kind of took a dive, we expanded our horizons into all the NFT market. And we adapted at the time. And then from there, we decided to open it up, make it a membership token that gives you access to this Discord server. No one had done that before. We innovated there, and as part of that, we gave every single person in the Discord a free key who was here before we started off. I think since that day, and continuing on, we've continued to show that our decision making is going to be centered around providing the community value and doing what the community wants and elevating our community in many different ways. That's going to continue to be our ethos going forward. A lot of people say that community is their main value, but I think we really can look back and show many examples of this really is our main value, and we've proven it time and time again. You can see it from, the events that we have when people from all over the world are flying in, New York and LA, just to come together and have a great night with the MVHQ fam. It really just speaks to how powerful the community that we have here is. Again, community, it's just it's a buzzword in the space, and it kind of sucks that a lot of projects use that as a buzzword because it kind of nulls it nulls really the value of what it means. But to us, it's honestly the mainstay. It's the foundation of what we do everything on, and it's going to continue to be going forward. 5-10 years in the future.
Well said. Thank you. Go ahead.
I flew to New York for 18 hours just to hit that event because my schedule was packed. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it, and I had a great time. So just wanted to second that statement for sure.
Thank you both very much for giving some insight and some background there. Great answers. Appreciate you touching on everything. We'll open up the last few seconds here, a few minutes, to any other questions or feedback anyone may have. Anything we've touched on, anything we haven't touched on that's been stewing on your mind. Again, DMs are always open for anyone on staff, but if you want to get it out into the open here, happy to field those questions. All right. I think we are good to go. Everyone, thank you so much for attending, taking your time. It means a lot to us. It really does to get the questions, get the feedback to you guys, and just give you a little taste of what we have brewing behind the scenes a little bit. Some of it's front of the scenes, but at the end of the day, it's all for you guys. So thank you very much for taking the time. Staff, thank you very much for contributing with some really awesome questions and answers. And we will see you guys all back in VC1 here very shortly. Thank you.